Alright guys, welcome back. Today, we are going a little big bore technical with my Ruger American Ranch in 450 Bushmaster. So here's my little bit of shooting footage I have for it. Alright guys, welcome back. First of all, if I can get you guys to like and subscribe. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 1,000K this year. So I can start, hopefully trying to get some monetization going and hopefully try to fund this just a little bit more. But anyways, today we got my Ruger American Ranch and 450 Bushmaster. And it is currently in a MDT, I think it's the LSX chassis system. When I first got it, it came in this really light composite stock. Felt really good, super light. It came with its own little magazine system, which I believe I still have right here somewhere. Oh. I still have it somewhere. But basically it came with a I think it was a 3-round detachable magazine. And the problem I had with it in this stock is it was super handy and super light, and that's the problem, super light. It's 450 Bushmaster. It's got a bit of a kick behind it. It's not exactly a light recoiling cartridge, and this stock here just wasn't quite enough weight to it. Plus, the way that it's set up, you can only add a swivel mounted bipod to it. You could, screw an actual pickerel in here, like I've done on some other plastic stocks like this before, but not really any mounting options. So that's why I went with this chassis system. Now, this was a pawn shop find, but a new pawn shop find. So it was new from the factory in the pawn shop. Got it in the box, and the chassis was separate, of course. So this rifle, at the time of me purchasing it, was $3.99. No, not sorry about that. It was $7.99. These used to be able to be gotten for around $300 to $400 back when they first came out. But of course, all the gun prices have gone up. The chassis system itself was $500, give or take. Now, when you get the chassis system, all it is just the aluminum chassis, and that's it. But it does come with a lot more modulability on it. It does convert the rifle to take AR style mags. So this was a 5-round mag, but it came with a another follower for 5.56 in it. So I took that follower out, and I was able to get it up to seven rounds in there. And you see that big honking 450 Bushmaster. We'll talk about that in a minute. but the chassis system also gives you the ability to switch over to an AR-15 style grip, and this one here is accepts an AR-15 buffer tube. They do have another version of this that allows you to mount their proprietary stock system that goes with it, which is nice. But I wanted to go with the buffer tube system. That way I can pick any cheap AR-15 style buffer tube in stock combo that I want. My buddy actually had a extra tube laying around, so I got it for free, and then I just ordered this stock off Amazon. We'll talk about the stock here in a little while because it's got its own little problems. When I bought my my Magpul pistol grip here, I actually got the wrong one. I was supposed to get the one that was straight cut like this, but I ended up getting the one with the dovetail on the back of it. So I had to do a little bit of Dremel work and solve that off. No big deal. It doesn't sit flush. I will switch it out eventually, but the other one does just kind of come flush here and just would look a little bit better. I grabbed this one at one of my local gun shops. I wanted it for, of course, the little storage compartment here. Of course, I got a matching foregrip for it, and then got me some actual aluminum pickerel. If I wanted to go a little lighter, I could have went with the composite pickerel. I went with aluminum because the whole idea is I wanted to add a little bit of weight to this rifle to help mitigate a little bit of that recoil. Now it does have a 5-position and I am not thinking well today, but it does have 5-position M-lock rail sections on it, so you can add M-lock rails to it. I am also running this Amazon pistol laser light on it, which actually does work really well. I actually like this little light. Though I am having issues with it as it doesn't really want to, I can't seem to adjust it to actually sight it in. But the idea I had with this is, because this is primarily going to be a hog gun, and I also plan on trying to do a black bear hunt in New Mexico, hopefully next year, if not the year after. And this is the rifle I want to take for that hunt. So, ideally, I'm going to be not reaching this gun out past 150 yards, but if I'm using it for hog close range, you know, targets that are moving fast, the laser will help with that. So that's kind of my idea behind it. And of course, because it is a pistol laser, it is relatively low profile as opposed to a lot of the rifle lasers you can get that are pretty big. Currently, I have my trusty old fake hog on here. This was, this is the NC Star 3x9x42 little fake ACOG scope with the quick detach. I actually bought this thing a long time ago. It was like 50 bucks. Like, I can't remember if I got it on eBay or Amazon. But this thing has actually been a trusty scope for a good while on. I've switched it off on my ARs and everything. I only have it on this right now because I didn't have a optic to put on here. Some of the footage that I posted, I had a cheap little red dot on here which I couldn't get sighted in either. But I have used this scope on, actually I believe it was in some of my videos, maybe, but I've used this on my shotgun with my full rifled barrel, shooting sabot slugs out of it, and it's handled the recoil just fine. I used to have it before I got my night vision scope. This is actually a scope I ran on my AR-15. I ran on that rifle for a couple years, actually, up until I got my night vision. And I've shot 2 pigs and a javelina with this scope, along with, I think, you know, rabbits and stuff like that. So being a cheap little scope, this little thing has served me well, and it's handled recoil well, which is, you know, I know that's not, everyone's not going to have the same, you know, experience with cheap scopes, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, this rifle does come with a threaded barrel, and it does come with this muzzle brake, and it also comes with a thread protecting cap. So this rifle is set up ready to be suppressed as is, so which is a cool feature. This huge muzzle brake, I have not shot this gun without it, but based on the design, at the very least, it's gonna mitigate the flash a little bit. And this is a 16-inch barrel, so this gun being set up like this is very compact. I haven't weighed it as it sits right now. I believe, 1 second. I believe in the original stock, unloaded, the rifle is supposed to weigh like 5 or 6 pounds, so it's really, really light. Okay. Okay. So as is right now, unloaded, it weighs 8.9 pounds. So, not super heavy, it's not light, but that was the whole idea, is I wanted to add some weight to it to make it a little bit more manageable for the recoil. Because, like I said, 450 is a butt stomping round. Now, talking about the round itself, so we got 450 Bushmaster. We have 9mm Luger, 9x19 for a size comparison, 7.62 by 39, almost the same overall length, slightly shorter, but I got that big honking bullet. And I believe these are my 300 something grain subsonics I have in here. Let's see what is something else in here. So this is 50 AE. This is from the Desert Eagle. You can see it's up there. So 450 is more than capable of taking out just about any large game in the US within proper range and proper placement. I would not shy away from using this in the AR platform against bear. In this rifle, I would use it against bear, no problem. I plan on using black bear, and I would trust it over maybe some more high velocity rounds for larger bears, simply because you get a little bit knocked down, you don't get as much penetration. But cool thing is 450, you can get extreme penetrators and extreme cavitator cartridges for these as well. So something like that in this platform, would be great for bear, especially if you're in a state where they have really restricted laws as far as straight wall cartridges. I know some of the northern states require a straight wall cartridge to hunt with. So this will give you a lot of butt stomping knockdown. Relatively easy. Now the ammunition is kind of expensive right now, but it is what it is. Everyone knows how it is. So like I said, this scope is temporary. It's too high. I'm either gonna put a LVPO on it, like I have on one of my other AR and my SEPME, something like that, or I know, well, for sure when I take this thing actually hunting, it's gonna get the ATN on it for that. But as far as the bolt's pretty smooth. The lockdown right here is a little stern. You got to kind of knock it in place, but pretty smooth as far as it comes out. It does have the tang safety down here, so safe and fire. Now, I believe on this one here, you can only put it in fire if it's actually been cocked, so I'll show you that in a second. It does have the two-stage trigger. This kind of reminds me of the Remington AccuTrigger system. So you got this this first stage, and then it's like a hairpin, and it is super light. So if I put it in fire, you can see the gun is in fact clear. You take that little take up there and got some weight to it, but it's super light. It's real crisp, shallow wall. Now I've noticed, as you saw, that the bolt slides up a little bit when firing. I don't know it does that every time when I fire. Sometimes it'll go up a little bit like that, but then it hits that little bit of wall. So I think that's just a little bit of work it's got there. But then again, you know, the lugs are still in there. So, and you see it is a cock on open. So right there, that's the cock in motion right there. So that's actually good, because if you get the rare case that you're gonna get a bad like light primer strike or something like that, you only have to do that to reset it. So as you can see, as I said, it is now fired. It won't let you put it on safe unless it's cocked. So, and then now I can switch it down to safe. For removal on this one here, you do have to fire it, pull the bolt out, and was it a hold trigger on this one? I believe it. No, okay, sorry, it's this pin right here. Keep thinking about another rifle. You push this down here. It's kind of hard to do from this angle. Push this tab down here, and then your bolt comes right out. And as you can see, we have pretty basic bolts. Got a lot of material cut away from it. I don't believe it needed this much material cut away from it. I actually would prefer to be a little bit more solid. You see it is 3-lugged. Pretty basic bolt, you know, as far as it goes there. As far as markings on it, you know, it's not a military gun, so it's not too, you know, you don't have to worry about markings too much, but it's got a big Ruger American on there on the side, and then, you know, your regular barrel stamps up here. So nothing too fancy on it. With this gun, the whole interest of it is the cartridge, and of course, you know, this chassis system that's on it. Plans on this gun, I would love to get this thing suppressed. As far as the rest of the layout, I don't want to change too much on it. I like it the way it is. The only thing that I am planning on doing is I am going to get a different buttstock. One with a adjustable cheek rest on it. Because even with a really low set scope, there's a really high cheek rest on this gun. It's the way that the stock is designed. As you can see, you know, on the original stock, when the tang comes down to where the safety is, it does raise back up just a little bit for you to get a good cheek weld on it. But on this stock here, it comes down to where the tang is, and it's a straight, you know, it's set. So they do make the buttstocks with the adjustable cheek weld on it. I haven't gotten too much shooting time with this, simply because I haven't found an optic I wanted to really put on it yet. I had some ideas, but like I said, likely it's going to get LVPO, because I would like that 1 to 8 power. That way I can use 1 power up close. You know, it's just more or less like having a red dot, unmagnified, and then you can, you know, zoom it up all the way to 8 power or 6 power, depending on what I get, and then, you know, use it for some longer shots. Question is finding one that I can handle the recoil. 450 Bushmaster. Like I said, I do want to get me another one of these pistol lights, and I might do a review just on this thing later on when I get one that will let me actually adjust it, or this one here if I can figure out how to fix it. But this little thing is cool. Now, this is the only tan firearm I own, and I kind of like the whole black and tan type setup. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it black and tan like this, or if I'm going to end up spray camo in it. Don't know. We'll see about how that goes. But anyways, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover on this gun. Now you can see it is a fully free-floated barrel all the way down. So now the American series, They do make this this rifle also in 7.62 by 39 and 300 blackout and then 5.56 and I believe 350 legend as well. What I would have thought interesting would have been with this rifle doing a 5.56 version of it with this same chassis setup, because then you can run 30 round AR mags or drum mags on it, which bolt gun with 30 round mags, kind of a cool idea. I've tried, because I tried putting this follower in one of my 30 round 5.56 mags, and it just doesn't seem to want to work, you know, very much. I can get a little bit more than 7 in there, but once the curve starts, it just starts messing up. So I wish someone made a higher capacity straight mag for 450 Bushmaster, which I think there would have to be, because, well, I mean, think about it. This is in an AR platform. Why wouldn't you have a high capacity magazine, especially for, you know, something as butt stomping as 450 Bushmaster, especially here in the South where there's a ton of hog hunting. Now, on this one here, let me pop this back in here. And like I said, it's that little bolt pop on there. So, the mag does not free drop, but it is very light. I'm sure with a little bit of, you know, breaking in, it might free drop. It could be just that there's paint still on here that could be worn off or something. Now, when these rifles first came out, IROC veteran 8888 actually did a review on one of these, and it was also in 450 Bushmaster, and he actually had an issue with his where his bolt was really hard to close. I have not had that issue. In the video, they had suspected that it might have been a case length issue with the ammunition that they had, or maybe the bullet was seated a little too far forward, and they had to put a little bit of extra oomph into it to close the bolt. Now, that video was 3 or 4 years back, so by now I'm sure if it was an issue with the rifles, you know, with the chamber, I'm sure that's been fixed by now, because I haven't had that issue. But anyways, it's a cool little gun. I actually passed this thing up in the pawn shop for 3 months because, you know, I'm not a huge Ruger fan as far as, you know, like the rifles, the, you know, regular bolt action rifles. I'm more of a Remington fan when it comes to, you know, bolt guns, you know, and then of course I like my surplus. So I passed this thing up for 3 or 4 months as it sat on the shelf. Because I didn't know it was 450 Bushmaster, and then one day I I glanced over the barrel and saw the barrel profile and the muzzle brake on it, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on there with that? So I finally asked to look at it, saw that it was 450 Bushmaster, and I was like, okay, it's going on with me. I need a Magnum big bore rifle, because at that time besides my shotgun I didn't have a big bore rifle. So that's kind of how I came into it. I don't know exactly what the aftermarket is on these as far as like the bolts and stuff like that. I'm sure there's stuff, you know, out there, but not a whole lot that I know of. But I'm hoping to get some good video with this. I'm trying to work on another hunting property that has more pigs on it that I can get on, and I'm gonna try to do a series in which every hunt I go on, I take a different one of my guns. And the goal will be to take one pig with that gun, and the majority of the meat I bring back, I'll be donating to charity, because I don't have the room to store that much meat. But I'm not the kind that will let it go to waste. I'm not going to shoot an animal and not, you know, just let the meat go to waste. So that's something I would love to do. I'm working on that, you know, trying to get onto that property. And we'll go from there on that. But anyways, next week's going to be a handgun episode, as I've been going. And it's going to follow the same theme of this rifle, in a way. So, I'll see y'all guys next time. Be sure to come over here and subscribe. And of course you have to hit the little bell, otherwise we won't show up in your notifications each time we post a new video. And check us out on Facebook and give us a like. We post all of our content there as well, as long as some pictures that we take. Speaking of Instagram, you can check us out on Instagram too. We post all of our pictures, some short clips that don't end up on YouTube, along with a little bit of funny stuff, some game recipes, and we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, but that stuff kind of isn't cheap, so every little bit of support helps and will help us get out some good content for everyone to see.